up, we're doing a Saturday night main event review. Let's get into it. So, overall, I think Saturday night's main event was pretty good to be a Saturday night main event, if you know what I mean. Because, Saturday night main event to me, dang, I don't even want to say it like this, but it's kind of what it is. To me, I was kind of considered like a house show that's like on TV. But I feel like this one had like a better stacked match card. We got a lot of title matches, which is something that doesn't often happen as well. So, let's get into the matches. We start off the show with Cody versus Drew McIntyre, which honestly surprised me. I didn't think they kicked the show off, but nonetheless we do. Before I even get into all that, Drew, comes out, and I really love how Drew McIntyre stops Lillian Garcia from speaking. And he's like, no, if you're gonna do your job, do it right, when she's announcing him. And he's basically like announced me as like the last real American, which is like a jab at Cody. And another reason why I love Drew McIntyre so much. So, they added a stipulation where basically if Cody gets counted out or disqualified in any capacity, Drew McIntyre, gets the belt. So throughout that match, we saw Drew McIntyre do a lot of things that could possibly get Cody Rhodes disqualified, as you should, because I want that belt. So, one of the things he would do is, he kept trying to throw Cody outside. He would mention Cody, accidentally or purposely pushing Cody into the referee for things to happen for the referee to kind of like get Cody disqualified so Drew can win. We get to a point where referee gets knocked out, Drew goes to get the belt, and then, Cody kind of capitalizes a crossroads to Drew on the belt, and Cody Rhodes retains, which really bothered me, if I'm being honest. I actually like Cody Rhodes. I don't want to make it seem like a we hate Cody Rhodes fan club over here, because that's not it at all. I think for me, I really love Drew McIntyre, and I think Drew McIntyre is somebody that is not, what's a good word? I feel like Drew McIntyre, he gets overshadowed a lot, and Drew is so good at what he does that I think, in my mind, I'm like, why not give him the title? Especially Cody's had the title, I don't really consider those couple months with him not having it when he fought Cena, because he got it back a few months later, literally. So it's like Cody's been champion for a while now, if you want to be like technical. Or if Cody's not champion, Cody's chasing the title. And it's like, I'm at a point with Cody where, why can Cody not have, like, side quests, Why can't Cody do things where he doesn't have the belt? Even the situation, what I'm assuming would be next, would most likely be Randy and Cody. And I feel like it makes sense to do that. I've been waiting for that for a while. My thing with that, do we see Randy Orton get the belt? Now, a lot of people I've noticed have been getting fed up with Cody having the title for so long as well. And a lot of us do like Drew. But when you add a Randy Orton into the mix, and if we get this in a sense of Randy Orton not getting a belt, and Randy Orton kind of being in Drew McIntyre's shoes, even if the storyline is good, I feel like personally for me, Cody as champion, it's very stale. And I also wanted Drew to win because Drew is exciting. He's a menace to society, but he's an exciting menace to society. Drew is such a good heel right now. It's just like a missed opportunity for me to like really make SmackDown more exciting as well, and I'm hoping with Drew losing, this is the last we'll see of them for a while. I feel like there's no reason to continue the storyline. I do not want to watch SmackDown Friday and see Cody Rhodes come out and then Drew interrupt him and we're just getting like around 500, because it's like there's no title changes happening, there's nothing happening to kind of like continue the storyline for me at this point. Drew won the belt, then it's like, okay, but there's nothing. And it sucks because I really love Drew, and I'm not trying to be biased at all, but it's like, when does it end? Hopefully that punt kick is in the works. I hope so. And Cody, your name's on it. Next up, we go to Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. And my prediction, I'm not even gonna lie, I think the way things have been played out, I thought Tiffany Stratton was gonna win this match. And I think it's another thing with Cody and Drew, you know what I mean? They've been fighting for so long, Cody always wins. I just thought Tiffany was gonna win. I was surprised they pulled the trigger and they let Jade get the belt. One of the things I will say that I was not crazy about, I didn't really like that it was like a squash match. I think it was smart in a sense of them trying to like build Jade up as a heel better and make her look better. But I feel like for me, it wasn't believable with Tiffany because I know a lot of people kind of hate on Tiffany, whatever. But she's a good wrestler, in my opinion. I think she's good athletically as well. I would have loved if they actually had, like, a match. And then maybe, you know, Jade is dominant still. But it just felt very, like, boom, boom, boom. And then it's over. And a part of me is wondering if Tiffany's actually injured. Because, you know, she kind of... her knee, her leg is messed up, if it seems. So I'm wondering if maybe she's injured. But hey, I like good surprises, so I wasn't like, oh my god, whoa, blah, 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 freaking out. But I was really like shocked. I was like, wow, they actually did it, because they haven't for so long. So many other times I thought they would, especially SummerSlam. I knew in my heart Jade was gonna win at SummerSlam. She didn't, and I was like, okay. But you know, we have a new champion now. Here we are. I could easily see Nia Jax being, if Tiffany is injured, I could easily see Nia Jax coming in as the number one contender, because you know I easily could see a situation where we had like a Becky Lynch situation with Nia Jax. You know, like Becky basically her nose got broken from Nia and they kind of storylined it. You know, I could easily see that happening. I'm hoping that this means Bianca Belair is cleared though, and we're getting a little EST back on our TVs, because Bianca, I don't know if you want me to come to your house and like be a doctor. Like I can check your fingers. We got to figure out something. I miss you so much. I miss you so much. But I'm excited to see what happens next, you know, in terms of the championship, cuz I don't know. I'm wondering if Tiffany is actually going to be out for a while or is kayfabe, but you know, we will see on Friday. So we have a part in the show where they're like, John Cena is gonna, you know, not I mean to just get depressed like that. John Cena is one of my favorite wrestlers. So the feels, right? You know, John Cena does an announcement and he's basically like, we're gonna have a tournament, a 16-man tournament across NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and even some people that don't work in WWE. They are all gonna fight, and whoever wins is gonna be his final opponent. The part about some people who don't work here really excited me and intrigued me, because it had my mind spinning, right? I automatically went to TNA, and I thought about people who have had history with John. I easily could see a Matt Cardona, easily could see a Nick Nemeth. For fun, personally, for fun, nostalgia, would not mind a Santino Marella. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, I would love my dream person for John to face. I don't think it's gonna happen, but in a perfect world, I would love if it was Edge. I feel like that would just be perfect. I do, in my heart, think Gunther is gonna be the last person. If it's not Gunther, I think it'll be somebody else of newer talent to like a passing of the torch situation, and it's kind of like bragging rights. I don't even think John Cena's gonna win his last match. I think it's gonna be like a thing for somebody to kind of talk about the rest of their career and the promos. I beat John Cena. What have you done? You know, whoop-de-doo. But yeah, I'm excited to see who comes in these tournaments and how it plays out for sure. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think it's a fun way to also add something new to the shows weekly. So I'm excited for that. So next up, we had the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between Dominic, Rusev, and Penta. I enjoyed this match a lot. I did think Dominic was going to retain, but if I'm being honest, I thought Los Americanos would come out and help him, so I was surprised that they didn't come out. But nonetheless, it was a fun match. I wouldn't have minded, though, if I'm being honest, if Penta or Rusev did win the belt. I kind of do want them to, and a lot of people love Dominic, but I wouldn't mind. And I think the storyline's been like going for a bit that, like, I don't know, some stuff I'm just like, you know, this person could drop the belt, it wouldn't matter. And plus Dominic's like Triple H champion, so it wouldn't have really like done any harm for him, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I think this match is really good. You know, you have Dominic doing like cheating antics as he always does and whatnot, and then, you know, Rusev thought he won the match when he put Penta in the accolade, but the whole time Dominic's outside ringing the thing. But I thought it was a dope match. It was fun. It's definitely one of my better matches of the night, in my opinion. So lastly, we have CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the vacant championship on Monday Night Raw. And this match was interesting. I think one thing I really will say with Jey Uso, I feel like Jay was a bit more aggressive and he kind of pulled out things I didn't really expect him to, which I really enjoyed, if I'm being honest. I also like that Jay, did go to sleep on CM Punk. I like that CM Punk did a spear to Jay. There's a point CM Punk throws water on Jay. It was just a lot of like little things throughout the match. And one of the things with the match too, there were times I couldn't call who was going to win. There were times where I was like, okay, it's probably over now. And then, Jay kicks out, CM Punk kicks out. And I feel like this match in particular, so if I'm being honest, my prediction was CM Punk, but I was also like, I could see Jey Uso winning. Because I feel like Jey Uso has the storyline to win that match. Because you have Roman, you have Jimmy Uso, and then you have, Jey turning into, a mini Roman Reigns situation. So, storyline-wise, a part of me wanted Jey to win, and also Jey is a whole different man now. Jey, to me, is not the same, haha, everything's fun and happy-go-lucky. He's very, I want that belt. And I'm going to get it by any means necessary. So a part of me is kind of like, it would have bbeen interesting to see how that panned out, especially with Jimmy. Talk super crazy to him. And then, Roman's going to come back at some point and it's like, you have a belt. I like belts. What are we doing? But, it didn't happen. But now it's also fun to me because now we get to see Jey Uso possibly spiral. And how is that going to be in the storyline? But, CM Punk ended up winning, which I think was kind of full circle moment in my opinion, because SummerSlam happened and that was something. I lost my mind when Seth came out and cashed in on him. Very unexpected for me, but he got the belt for 5 seconds, lost it, and here we are a few months later, he's champion again. And I'm happy for him. I'll say that. I'm super happy for him because he finally got a belt, and I think this time he actually is gonna have a pretty long title reign. Not long, like 20 months or something. Or not 20 months. I don't know why I said it like that, but I don't think he'll be champion for the next 5 years or anything, but I don't see this being a short title reign. I also, in my mind, think LA Knight, if anybody, or the Bronze will be next in line for CM Punk, which I think will be interesting. And then, Seth Rollins also announced that he's going to be out for 6 months. Easily could see CM Punk being champion still when Seth Rollins comes back. And at that point, they'll both have a similar enemy, by then probably with the Bronze. The Bronze are probably about to be atrocious on Raw with CM Punk. I can only imagine. But, they'll have a common enemy. And I don't think necessarily they'll be best friends, but I think it'll be like a Cody and Seth kind of dynamic, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a tag match or something. We Seth and CM Punk versus the Bronze in some way or capacity. I would not be shocked by that at all. But, I do think Seth comes back and he kind of gets thrown back into the title scene after dealing with the Bronze to some capacity. And then we re-pick up on CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And I think their feud is pretty interesting. I think it'll be interesting. But yeah, that was about it for Saturday night's main event. Overall, I think it's pretty decent for what you usually get out of Saturday night's main event. It was pretty decent to me for sure. But as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.